This talk is going to be very short and brisk. Only to put forward some of the options in front of you all. As I said, I coming from a Sanskrit and philosophy background, trying to interact with the ever-facing, fast-forwarding world. I would find some problems that I would like to be solved, and the problem solvers are engineers, as you know. So I am trying to put forth these possibilities in front of you, and I think you are also informed about there is the circulating piece of paper where you can just put forth some of the research ideas that you may have. Maybe you can mention if you want to particularly involve with some of the subject experts. So that would be the whole purpose of this language, is to go ahead with the putting forth some of the research gaps that you might face. So first of all, interdisciplinary approach. Why is it needed in our field, Sanskrit field? Okay, so fragmentation in knowledge systems. So today we are specializing in many things. We can see that a lot of specializations are happening. That's a very good thing. But whereas if we have interdisciplinary approach towards our specialization, the narrowing down of things, the holistic approach is also necessary, especially when we are dealing with the knowledge. So that is one of the things that we can see here. And the interdisciplinary approach, as you can see, is going to be more helpful when we are trying to approach any problem with multiple perspectives, interdisciplinary or cross-disciplinary or even transdisciplinary, whatever kind of research. When we are involving multiple streams, so we can offer more to one single or existing problem. That is one thing. And mainly when it comes to the knowledge tools. Well, these are some of the existing things that need no big explanation. I think I will go ahead. I'll just give a small example in this field, and I'll just put forth the research possibilities of this. Fine. So, holistic approach in Indian restaurants. So, today when we are talking about the philosophy, if you want studying some Indian darshanas, philosophy, so we will approach it with a background with which we have grown, and we have grown with the schooling system, which is pretty much Western influenced by Western thoughts. So there is no doubt in that. It was a meticulous efforts put by the ruling people back in 250 or maybe 150 years ago. And that's a different thing, history. That's the thing that happened. Today we are facing whatever is there. So how to do something about it? Well, Indian darshanas today can be read not only for its content but for its approach and methodology also. Nyaya, Vaisheshika, see, I have taken just to mention three shastras here, three darshanas. Nyaya combined with Vaisheshika. Usually it always goes with Vaisheshika. Samkhya always goes with yoga. Vedanta always goes with Mimamsa. They have a lot of similarities. Well, they are different, but many similarities are there. So they are mentioned in couplets usually. So well, let us take only these three for now. Nyaya is very strong in knowledge representation, especially the inference part. A lot of research has been done by the ancestors and put forth in multiple booklets, and they have written books for multiple stages of inference, and that's very deep, intriguing thoughts are there. When it comes to Sankhya, they do not deal with too much with this part, the inference part. but they have a theoretical approach about the creation, the structure of universe and all that. And then Vedanta talks about the inner lying core of all these things, whatever the world that we can see, and what is the actual essence of this world. So Vedanta mostly approaches with that perspective. Now, does it mean that they are mutually exclusive? No, very much no. Because I mainly studied Vedanta and yoga, but mainly Vedanta. I cannot study Vedanta without knowing to a very good extent of Nyaya, to some extent of Sankhya and Yoga. I cannot study Vedanta. That's not possible. So, why is it? Because though they fundamentally differ in some of the concepts. For example, the essence of this word that Vedanta speaks about. And Vedanta differs from both Nyaya, Sankhya, Vaisheshika, Yoga, all these things. But when it comes to knowledge representation, they have their own standpoints, but they resort to the methodologies very particularly built by Nyaya. And then there's possibility. Well, now moving ahead, darshanas are one part of the literature. Then comes Shastras. We have Ayurveda, Jyotisha, Vastu, and all that. Natya Shastra, so the aesthetic part of it. Now, Natya Shastra basically deals with the prose, poetry, the dance format of music, whatever is related to the aesthetic and literature part. Now, Natya Shastra there is one major verse in Natya Shastra, and it says Jagraha Paఠ్యం Rigveda. So how Natya Shastra comes into existence? Bharata Muni says Jagraha Paఠ్యం Rigveda. How Nataraja, Lord Shiva, created Natya Shastra. He took Rigveda and created the prose part, the lyrical part. Then Samabhyo Ipanevacha took Samaveda and adopted music from it. And Yajurveda Abhinaya. So the Yajurveda is meant to perform actions majorly. So the person performing actions will have to move his hand, leg, jump, do a lot of things are there. So considering extracting the actions from Yajurveda, Shiva created the Abhinaya, the acting part of the Natya Shastra. And Rasa Atharvanadatam. So Atharvaveda, from Atharvaveda, we extracted the science or the knowledge of expressions, minute level expressions. You know, if you are getting into Natya Shastra, theatrics and all these are they have their own importance. Lyrics is important, the prose, the dialogues are important. But how you deliver the dialogue, how you keep your body language, everything is important. So they are trying to connect with Vedas. And then what kind of content are you putting forth in the form of a drama, dance, and whatever? So they are taking it from darshanas. So it's always whether you go to Ayurveda, there is a well-known doctor in Karnataka, and he specializes in talking from Ayurvedic perspective or from Darshana perspective about Ayurveda. How Ayurveda addresses the philosophical concepts. How an expert doctor, experienced expert doctor can utilize the concepts of philosophy in treating people. So it's a very different approach. So all kinds of holistic approach has been there, and maybe we have to relearn some of the things from their approaches. And then Pramana, the epistemological part of it. So the three major Pramanas. So Pratyaksha is nothing but a sensory perception. The sound that I hear from my ears, something that I see, I smell and all this. So that I touch. this sensory perception perspective. Using this sensory perception, we are doing the remaining things. The inference, you need sensory perception or verbal testimony. For verbal testimony, you need sensory perception. So based on sensory perception, you are building literally everything. And this approach is not only taken by only Nyaya or some other Shastra. This is the core of every Shastra. This is the only possibility. And then, sorry, how inference works, how verbal testimony works. We saw two Skota and the Nyayavadas in the morning session. So, similarly, there can be multiple viewpoints about epistemological tools that we have, but agreeing to that, there is something called Pramana or the epistemology, and going ahead with this is something that we can see commonly in all the Shastras. So, we have these integrative and all these thoughts. Now, if the systems that we are going to build, maybe the computers or the small physical devices, if they are fed with all these kinds of wisdom that we can extract from the ancient people texts, that will be one of the greatest things that we can offer from ancient texts to the modern society. So this is one thing that we can look into. I think it requires more explanation, but I don't think I have time. Okay, so I will keep it short, and I know you all are waiting for some technical talks as well. So now, let's data scalability and precision. So of course, machines are so precise and they give you exact values. The repeatability of that is there, and the gaps are when it comes to when we are talking about ethical AI in the morning, right? So when our approach is like reductionist in the if you are talking about conscious computing and all. So if you are going to reductionism, there is something called hard problem, right? In this where we are unable to address the subjective experience with the help of these machines and all. So if we have to address all these issues, we have to resort to some of the, for now at least, in my knowledge, we can resort to the thoughts given by the Vedantas and the philosophical branches that have been developing in India since thousands of years.
What is the hard problem? Vedanta.
Huh?
Hard problem in Vedanta because we have statements about hard complete problem, hard problem, variety of problems.
Okay, so
Any example of Vedantic hard problem?
well, I would say Vedanta solves the hard problem. Hard problem is the difficulty. Sorry.
Vedanta should deal with the hard problem, but Vedanta should not fix the hard problem.
No.
My question is example of hard problem Vedanta. Because he says computational power that is measured by only this parameter of hard problem.
Okay.
Well, what you are using is hard problem as property of difficulty to solve. No, that is not connected to here.
So hard problem, as I understand, in the cognitive sciences is
Yeah, Turing defined, a famous scientist, he is the father of computer science.
Okay.
He defined what is a hard problem.
Okay, sir.
Morning you said no algorithm.
Yes.
If here, the very definition of algorithm says it should terminate after running. If you have another algorithm to check this algorithm whether it will halt or not, that is a hard problem.
Okay.
It is one example.
Okay. So I don't know this part of it.
By the founder of computer science called Turing.
Okay.
Similarly, for Vedanta, any rishis mentioned hard problem and was to measure the computational power.
Okay.
To measure the strength of the Indian knowledge system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. So I don't think I will go in that one way.
Yeah.
I think, see, the cognitive issues that we have today is in the cognitive field. A hard problem is where it has become difficult to explain, narrow it down to subjective experience, right? So the subject, how do you explain the subjective experience when you are saying giving an explanation commonly for all, from the physical perspective, the science perspective, but individual experiences are different. They are differing. Nobody can deny.
Subjective.
Yes.
Subjective experience.
Subjective. Subjective to me. Subjective to me. So what I experience and what some other person experiences. What I'm talking, I'm one person talking, being listened by 40 people, 30 people. So 30 people may perceive it in 30 different ways. So that explanation, experience, subjective explanation for these experiences is difficult. This is the hard problem that they are putting for the cognitive science. So this can be approached with the help of Vedanta, is what I'm trying to say here. So not every hard problem, I don't know, computational hard problems could be different, but this cognitive science related hard problems is what I'm trying to say. That can be approached with the help of Advaita Vedanta methodology of perception. That's
So
possible.
they say subjective and objective. Suppose I say nature and water, they are objective. I can see it and realize it.
Yes.
If I make a story and imagination wise, I explain something. Tomorrow there will be a master who will come and save me or release me from current problem. They are all only thinking subjective. They call it. So when we use the term subjective, it looks for me as though it is objective. Objective means we see it in the object world.
Okay. So the objects are being experienced.
Yeah.
That is fine. What I am saying here is each individual experiencing the same object in different ways.
That's first.
But that is subjective. This is what I am calling as subjective. So explaining that part is being difficult today. So that's where I am saying Vedanta can help us. So this is where I am trying
It is
to.
removing the individualism.
Not necessarily. I'm not.
According to your statement, just now you made.
No, well, so if we are pinpointing like that, again we are trying to reduce it to some other level. So we are trying to approach it with the approach where we are not denying the individuality. No need to get devoid of that individuality, still being able to explain the subjectivity of it. So some approach is needed then. If I have to explain Vedantic methodology, it will take a lot of time. I'm really sorry about it. I can explain to good extent in this this thing, but it requires at least 15 to 20 minutes from me. Because I have to give a lot of background before explaining. If I directly explain, there is no meaning for it. So I have to give a lot of background to it. Only then I can explain. So I'm sorry about that part.
That's why on those days, traditional knowledge system. It's more days and students, disciples will come and listen for continuously. Now it's not possible.
Sir, today people are coming to colleges seeking knowledge in some particular streams.
But teachers and students will not sit so long period
They
and
want
try
to
to.
have a lecturer. You don't want to educate. This is the way.
We'll take the ideal case.
They want
We'll take the ideal case. So, in ideal case, students are coming to any institution seeking knowledge in ideal case. So if that is the case, if somebody is trying to approach someone who has knowledge in traditional systems, so that is still possible because I went like that. So I spent 3-4 years of mine under a guru, particularly sitting every day studying until late night, early in the morning, 7 to 6 o'clock, classes, everything. I haven't done one for 3-4 years. No, more than actually.
Single guru,
Huh?
one guru or multi guru.
In the Gurukula system, there were
Only
there were 6 different people for 6 topics.
traditionally one guru will give.
That is also there. A later part I went to that also. But the initial part, there was a common Gurukula where I had some 7-8 people in my batch. We all used to wake up at 4:30, take class at 5 o'clock. So all this I have gone through. So it is still going on, but in a very meager, small, very small, almost you can market it. So, but it's a small number. But the world, in my own experience, the people who the way people looked at me when before COVID and after COVID, there is a lot of difference. I can for sure say that people talking about my subjects, the way I have studied, the topics that I have studied, the things that we deal with, people talking about it before COVID, after COVID are very different things. And including the employability of people from my background, it has become more right. So people are seeing some content in it, some possibilities in it, some opportunities in it. Of course, it looks hard, very difficult in ways, and wherever there is difficulty, I believe strongly that it always brings you a lot of opportunities. So that is another point of it. It might look difficult, but it will definitely give you a lot of opportunities. Wherever there is difficulty, that is the major opportunity, as I believe. So people have been solving problems. That's the research that we have been doing for many years. Okay. So these are some of the NLP models that are already there in Sanskrit. You can check some of them. I have shared the PPT. You can share it with the person. Okay, this is okay. Ethics I have spoken about. I won't get into it later. Ecological detachment. So ecology is another. Okay, so epic neutral. So the whatever we are producing in the form of machines, the approach that we are getting from AI, it's not completely known to ethics. It to some extent it is, but later it can be ethic neutral. They will give you some. If you are asking about something wrong, it can give you a right answer for it. You may use it and do wrong things. So ethically, how to approach, how to educate the receiver along with ethics. You have to convey the knowledge, but you should also pass on the ethical part of it. Today, we are unable to do it with machines. Physically, people can do it. I'm not saying everybody is doing it, but people can do it. But machines are not yet trying to that level. So maybe you have to look into that part of it. There is this when we address reductionism. So reductionism is reducing everything into the physical state. So even some of the science people they do not accept the functionings of psychology. Because psychology, if you consider mind as something that is non-physical, some abstract concept, some of them are not ready to accept it, but some of them are ready to. Some of them just narrow down everything to the brain activities, the neural activities. That's all everything is about. So that's how most of the Western approach is there towards psychology. So this is reductionism. But Vedanta gives a very different perspective. So we may look into it. Vedanta says that everything is is connected to and originates from the same consciousness. So each and every living being essentially is same. So this is one major approach that Vedanta gives you. So this can be we can be approaching the reductionism problem with this approach. I don't know which one is right. I'm not saying something is right or wrong here. I'm just saying these are the possibilities that we can look into and try to get a very different perspective in it. So maybe that would be the offer that ancient systems may have for us. So these models, then Ayurveda related research. Ayurveda is
This I strongly with myself. Ayurveda people, when they are doing the Ayurvedic treatments and all, they will ask the diagnostic sheet, whatever the scan copy from the based on that, then a doctor will go ahead to the diagnosis report and if it is expertise, he'll come up with a treatment which is already proven treatment. Some COVID is at the COVID time, everything is tried in them. But for Ayurveda, they used to say that based on the diagnostic they are doing. But they are not ensured that this is definitely going. And that way that even the many papers, we are really in a page models that have gone to this practitioner classification.
every classification.
Classification we are doing.
I mentioned that. Fine. Okay, please go ahead.
Now, that classification always speaks about the nature is on it two concepts. One is existential concept and is a non-existential. In these two aspects, I didn't understand this. What exactly the diagnostic is there. That when Ayurvedic took it is not a diagnostic based. Now what we are saying is everything will come diagnostic based.
Okay. Fine. This is true. When you look at it from the modern science perspective, this is what it looks like. But when they're talking about Prakriti Snan, maybe you may have gone through it already, I don't know. So if you sit with a doctor who has undergone proper training, if possible, traditional Ayurvedic training, rather than colleges, if they have undergone traditional Ayurvedic training from Parampara, there will be traditional doctors. They can speak why Prakriti is very much related to your physical existence actions. Through actions, through your thoughts, and how your body reacts. They consider all these things to decide your Prakriti. So, this Prakriti as a concept, it is a conceptual level. I mean, you cannot show what kind of Prakriti exactly, like physically, you cannot show definitely, but the classifications, the original Ayurvedic text, whatever the classifications that they give, they will definitely be able to relate it without, with the help of all these functionalities that actually happen in the body and our reactions, our psychological thoughts, and all these things. So, in my limited understanding, I have interacted with a few people, because of my Sanskrit background, I have connection with at least 7 to 8 Ayurvedic researchers, not just doctors. They keep on researching things. So what happens is, they will say, even I have asked this question, why, see, if you have Ayurvedic system already, people have been doing things, and if you already have a background, why are you resorting to the diagnostics of modern diagnosis methods? So then they said, see, first of all, what is the purpose of Ayurveda? Purpose of Ayurveda is to keep a person healthy. A healthy person healthy. To keep him as it is the first purpose. Second purpose is to resolve the issues that come inside our body. So, Swasthasya Swastha Lakshanam, Atmarasya Roga Nidhanam. So, these are the first primary two purposes. Now, if I am able to assess a person using the Ayurvedic methodologies that are given in the ancient texts, well, I have studied, I am going to do it. But if modern diagnosis is going to help me with it, help me enhance my diagnosis of the person, of the Prakriti, of the roads or whatever it is, I'm going to do it. Because knowledge never ends. Ayurveda should not stop. Ayurveda should grow to a level where it can approach the problem with this Prakriti concept, but use the help of modern technology to determine what is the exact issue. So this is what I have so far understood. I have a lot to learn over there, I know, but this is in my limited understanding. This is what I have understood so far. So that's where, when I searched, I got many other pages. I went through some of them, even in PubMed. But I could not think that I can present them here. They are published there, but still, I felt it's not fine. So whatever I felt good with, only then I have presented here. So these things are like some publications, some AI, some IoT things are also there. I think IoT falls under petroleum.
Yes, no, I
Okay.
did everyone.
Okay. So this AICTE-VAANI is some startup, and they have built a device. It's a very expensive device. Please don't buy it, but you can know about it. So AICTE-VAANI, they will send a device. You have to wear it, and real time is going to assess what kind of guna. So sattva, rajas, tamas they are talking about, and also they are talking about three doshas, vata, pitta, and kapha. What is more active today? What is being manipulated? See. Every person, according to Ayurveda, has one Prakriti, that is Vata, Chitta, or Kapha. So, my basic Prakriti is stagnant and it keeps on showing effect on the remaining three at active, superficial level. So, a person who is active in something, when somebody is active, it is Rajoguna. But in what kind of things is the person is being active? Whether he gets active when somebody is fighting, whether he gets active in some academic lecture, whether he gets active during meditation. whether he gets active in sports. So this, where the person is getting active. So that shows the underlying basic prakriti of a person. So this is one of the things. So active level, basic level, two levels of gunas are also there. So they are saying that they are able to assess all these things using this device. I just mentioned, I don't know much. So this is one of the things, just to show how people are thinking. That's all. These are not recommendations. These are only some thoughts that people have been going in the past. That's all. And Jyotisha, well, time models, they are going to build with the help of Jyotisha, and a lot of mathematics is there. In fact, if anybody is interested in mathematics, there is an 8th semester course completely in Pune, or I think Ahmednagar. So an institution is there, ancient institution, not ancient, Indic knowledge institution. So they are running 8th semester course on completely based on Indian text on mathematics. So if somebody is interested, you can go and take the course and give exams. So you will be trained only using Sanskrit ancient texts, completely mathematics, nothing other than maths. Okay, all algebra, everything is there. So they have gone to the differential calculus and everything is they have been teaching. So this and well, Vastu, if it can offer some insights into the smart designs in architecture and all that. So that will be one of the useful things that we can extract from Vastu. So likewise, we can go ahead and see, we have to find out where we are interested. See, you could be coming from multiple branches, literally CSC or AI, whatever it is. So people studying things and having interest are, in my view, they are slightly different things. Today we are somehow sometimes I'm talking to students especially. So we are somehow sometimes forced into some system. Somebody is doing my Atta is doing something, and so I have to also compete and do CSC, AI, DS, that this and everything. Fine. And nowadays quantum also, right? So we are in the race. That's okay. You do your race. I'm not saying you should not. But meanwhile, if possible, try to find your core interest and try to integrate that interest with your career. So that can open up a lot of new opportunities, especially if you are interested in the Indian knowledge systems. As I have shown a few options with possibilities, maybe we are also able to collaborate from the field where you come from and I come from. We'll be able to offer something wonderful to the world. This is the whole purpose of this talk, and it is 2:45. I'm going to complete this talk. Thank you all the people who have given me this opportunity to come and speak about a few things. And I really request you all. I think ma'am is going to circulate some sheets after maybe by the end of the day. Or I don't know. So as per their plans, you can please put in your thoughts in the papers, those sheets, and they'll be able to please mention your names also. Maybe if you are also interested, they are also interested, and if you can find some people from Sanskrit and Indian knowledge background, you'll be able to collaborate together, do some research, and produce something useful to the world. Thank you very much. Thank you.
So good afternoon. Actually, the main motive of selecting this topic is, as we already know, the Indian languages importance is there, and in engineering, one of the subject is essence of Indian knowledge tradition is there. So I don't know how many of you know, majority of students are there, professors are there, senior people. So we are having real-time projects. So a lot of the technology has been growing on, and we are not even forgetting our tradition. So we have to correlate tradition and technology. So that's the reason the importance of Sanskrit in by using the computational algorithms, the topic has been chosen. So sir has some funding ideas. So if anyone is interested, yeah, I will share you after that. I'll share you the sheets. Tomorrow you can submit. You can write your names and everything, your details. And if the ideas are good, sir will have we can take help of sir for research fundings also. Right? How to apply our data science algorithms or computational algorithms or optimization algorithms for our applications. Okay, thank you. Thank you, sir, for relating us on latest technologies and advanced technologies, interdisciplinary methods, and research gaps and everything. Now I request our HOD ma'am, Sri Lakshmi ma'am, Lokesh Reddy sir, professor of our department, and but Lakshmi Swarupa ma'am, professor and coordinator for this workshop, just to felicitate the our parents, speaker as a domain of prayer. Sir, Hannah Kilwater, please join with us. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. Now we'll move to the next session. Today our next speaker is Dr. Navina Bhagari ma'am, Professor Degree Department. Now I would like to introduce ma'am. Dr. Navina Bhagari ma'am holds a BTech degree in Electrical and Electronics Engineering from KLC Vijayawada in 2001 and MTech in Electrical Power Engineering from JNTU Hyderabad in 2009. And her PhD in Electrical Engineering from Osmania University, Hyderabad in September 2024. With over 23 years of teaching experience, ma'am is currently a professor in Electrical Department, India College of Engineering. She serves in several key academic and administrative roles, including chair of the Internal Compliance Committee, Council for CBRC, IPB Student Branch, MBA Co-Coordinator, IQSA Coordinator, and member of Board of Studies of the department. Madam has made significant contributions for research, including international conference papers, which includes IPB conferences, national and international conferences, like 6 international journals, 4 national journal of publications. Her primary research area includes tax control of power systems and power quality. She is a senior IPB member and a member of IEEE Industrial Electronics Society and IEEE Power and Energy Society, and she is also a member of ISTE. And three designation includes video responsibilities for reputed focus and IEEE journals and conferences. She is also editorial book is she's also an editorial board member of the American Journal of Electrical Power, Energy and Systems and serves as associate editor in chief of the Journal of Power Electronics and Power Systems. She delivered 5 guest lectures on advanced electrical engineering topics in different FDPs and workshops. She also coordinated 2 major FDPs. Securing 6.67 lakhs for a 2-week AICTE sponsored pattern workshop and 93,000 for 1-week pattern workshop. She was an organizing coordinator for ISTE sponsored international conference 2025 and 2023. Beyond technical achievements, she is actively engaged in humanitarian and social outreach activities, organized STEM outreach program, arrays activities of the government school children in nearby community. I would like to request ma'am to start her session. I request Raisa ma'am to hand over the bouquet to madam. Thank you for your introduction, Mrs. Shah. Which is
नमस्कारं शुभ अपराह्नः सर्वेभ्यः अद्य अहम् अटलवाणी प्रायोजिताय अस्या 2 दिवसस्य कार्यशाला कालखण्डे डेटा साइंस applications and prospectus for electrical engineers. इत्यस्य पाल्खण्डे data science इत्यस्य परिचयः विद्युत् अभियान्त्रिकी इत्यस्य च प्रासङ्गिकता इति विषये व्याख्यानं दातुं गच्छामि. So I said like Namaskara, good afternoon everyone. Today I am going to deliver a lecture on introduction to data science and prospects or applications towards electrical engineering during this 2-day workshop on data science and prospects for electrical engineers. So introduction to data science and its relevance to electrical engineering. विद्युत् अभियन्तानां कृत अखण्ड विज्ञान अनुप्रयोगः सम्भवाश्च. So motivation, just let us learn few Sanskrit words on this occasion. The motivation is prayukti. See, data science, when the motivation behind this data science is like everyone nowadays using this. This is our life nowadays. So for shopping or for anything we will rely on this. So when you are using this for shopping in Amazon Web Services or Amazon, for example, shopping app, so you will get certain recommendations, isn't it? So on what basis you will get recommendations? Students. So what you generally watch, like you are looking for kurtas, you are looking for shirts, or you are looking for some spectacles, unlike that. Based upon the product search, what you generally go for, that gives you recommendations, isn't it? And next one I mentioned targeted advertising. What do you mean by targeted advertising? Like when you watch YouTube videos, you will get advertisements. So then we will skip ads. Like, see, myself and herself both are watching some videos, or say some cooking videos or some dance videos. Okay, so based upon our choice, like we both are watching similar kind of videos, means we are one kind of group. So based upon our choices, that kind of audience are addressed to particular types of ads. That is called targeted advertising. Okay, next one. Google Voice, Siri, Cortana, I mentioned. Google Voice. Like one of my neighbors, like on Thursday, I used to hear her voice. Hey Google, play Sai Aarti. She will call. My neighboring auntie, she will tell, hey Google, play Sai Aarti. Like she herself is also using the Google Voice. She's of 55 plus something. She is a homemaker. She is alone in home, but she is able to use the Google Voice. And similarly, most of us watch Siri also. Okay, Siri. Have you heard Cortana? Anybody aware of Cortana? What is Cortana? Microsoft Windows 4 in Windows 8.14. That is, I think it is introduced in 2014. That is also a virtual voice assistant, Cortana. So all these. So what they are doing, what is this Google Voice or Siri or Cortana, what they do basically? They will recognize our voice. That speech will be analyzed. Then accordingly, the output will be given. Accordingly, whatever the video you wanted to play or whatever you asked for the assistant to open the Google Map or to assist you to getting some app, suggesting you some app like that, it will assist you. Okay, so in this process, next slide please. Next. Between one slide. So basically, what is data science? Data science is about gathering data, and based upon the data gathered, it will analyze, and then accordingly the decision making will be given. So this is Sanskrit version. Datamsha Vijnanam. Data science is Datamsha Vijnanam. Datamsha Sangrahanam. Sangrahanam is gathering. Visleshanam is analysis. And Nirnaya Nirmanam, that is called decision making. So Datamsha Vijnanam, Datamsha Sangrahanam, Visleshanam, Nirnaya Nirmanam, Chaiti Vishayam Asti. So data analysis, data gathering, data analysis and decision making will be done. So finding out different patterns in the data available and then analyzing it and predicting the future predictions. Like for example, we can take load forecasting. Load forecasting. How many of you are electrical engineering background here? Okay. You are not? You both are also electrical engineering students only, no? You are not raising your hand. They're in little doubt. Okay, I think they have opted minor engineering course, so they are in the dilemma. So, load forecasting. What do you mean by load forecasting? See, suppose in this room we have 20 lights and 20 fans. They will contribute to some certain kilowatts of load. Okay, and like that, this is a particular room. And for entire power system, there will be megawatts or gigawatts of load. Based upon the analysis of previous data and existing data, next year, how much will be the future load? Based upon that is called forecasting. Forecasting means future prediction. Future prediction based upon the increased population, based upon the increased usage of devices day to day. We are estimating the load and estimating the burden on the grid. How much megawatts of power is required? That is called forecasting. Load forecasting, especially. Load means load demand. Power demand. Power demand depends upon the population and the uses of electrical appliances. Okay, so all this includes the load. So based upon that, we are estimating for the future. Based upon that, we have to plan or we have to schedule the load. We have to schedule the load in the sense like how much load is required, how much generation is needed to meet that demand, and whether conventional sources available are sufficient to supply that load demand. Otherwise, other distribution generation sources or renewable energy sources are needed. That all has to be estimated, and this is called load forecasting. This is also one application of data science. One application of data science. So this data science or can be used. Data science can be used for better decisions. Means when we have two options, A and B, how to whether to choose A or B. How to choose based upon some analysis. What is your priorities? What is your requirement exactly? So that questionnaire you have to answer before choosing some decision. So predictive analysis. If you choose A, what will happen next? If you choose B, what will happen next? Like that, you have to do some analysis. Then pattern discovery. So you have to find the pattern. Maybe some information is hidden in that pattern. That pattern has to be analyzed properly, and accordingly, you have to take the decisions. So the applications of this data science are a wide range. Like in healthcare, so to analyze the reports, health reports, or like recently we have undergone pandemic, COVID-19, how the COVID-19 cases are spreading across. All that analysis also can be done using this data science. And finance, see, finance, stock marketing. So everyone, if you are in the stock market, they'll be observing the stocks up and downs based upon the analysis. So the stock market up and downs also can be analyzed using the data science. And agriculture, nowadays data science is into agriculture also. See, like the smart farming, how so based upon the soil moisture content, whether we need to water the soil or not. That is one condition. And when and where exactly the seeds have to be sown. The plantation, like say sowing the seeds and what geographical conditions and what soil conditions, what moisture content should be there, what is the range, like what is the quantity. That all we can analyze basing upon the sensor data. So if, that is in the agricultural sector. And retail marketing. Retail marketing means just now I mentioned so all product based marketing or product based market. 2010. So it empowers organizations to make data-driven decisions and gain competitive advantage. So why the data science is popular nowadays? Because digital devices are cheaper and more powerful, and there is democratization of hardware and software, and internet world nowadays is producing huge amount of data. See, lot of data is on the cloud, internet cloud. So they based upon some report based on 2021 report, International Data Corporation, 175 gigabytes by 2025. We are already in 2025. 175 gigabytes. And can anybody tell what is zeta? Zeta bytes. You know, mega 10 power 6, beta 10 power 12. That is beta. 10 power 21. Zeta is 10 power 21. Okay, so 175 zettabytes by 2025. This data usage or data growth will be at certain rates. We grow 61% to 170. But already we have read that the percentage or that much of data. And with some estimations, even projecting 394 means almost more than double by 2028. So in the same report, it was predicted that 49% of the world's raw data will reside in the public cloud environment. So due to immense computational resources available with us, we can perform analytics and train a machine. Let us see what is the data process, the data science process exactly.
What is the size of data pertaining to electrical engineers?
Yes, sir. We are.
ESV says very general
Yeah.
data size.
Yes, sir. General data set. I'm moving forward,
I
sir.
am very particular about electrical.
Yes, I have a few more slides in that also. So just after covering these basics, I will go on to that.
Okay.
So data science operations. So collection of data is first thing, and then storing, then processing, and describing the data in a precise way, and then modeling as per our requirement. So this is Katham Karya Karoti, how data science works. We can see problem statement based upon our problem statement. We have to collect the data. This is what every researcher what he does. The same process in the data science solving also. Problem statement, then required data we should collect, and then the data has to be clean. There will be some erroneous data and also unfilled data. We have to fill the data or remove the errors, whatever is existing. And then we have to analyze the data and explore. Then, as per our requirement, the data has to be modeled properly using any ANN or machine learning models like LLMs, etc. We can model the data and then it has to be optimized for the development or deployment. Next. So the same thing, first we have to understand business understanding. For business understanding or for data collection, we have to ask relevant questions. We have to ask relevant questions and we have to acquire the answers in the precise manner what is as per our requirement. That is called data collection or business understanding. So ask relevant questions and define objectives for the problem that needs to be tackled. Then data mining. Data mining is gather and scrape the data necessary for our required project, for our particular project. Next, data cleaning. Fix the inconsistencies within the data and handle the missing values. Next, data exploration. From the hypothesis about your defined problem by visually analyzing the data. That is called data exploration, and feature prediction and modeling, and then visualization. Same thing, clearly mentioned, ask an interesting questions. Exactly like what is the scientific goal? What would you do if you had all the data? What do you want to predict or estimate? Next, get the data. How are the data sampled and how the data is relevant? Are there any privacy issues? any privacy issues and explore the data. So you have to search for any anomalies or any patterns, any particular patterns, and then the data has to be plotted to recognize particular patterns or particular similarities or particular anomalies lying in that. So now build a model in such a way that it fits approximately or exactly, and then communicate and visualize the results. What did we learn? Do the results make any sense? Or can we frame out a problem out of that? Same thing. Next. So collection. See, data collection, maybe this data will be in the form of text, video or audio and any other format. So data science, like data scientists working on agriculture based company, which crop is higher production in districts of Maharashtra, what type of seeds he has to choose, what type of fertilizers, what type of irrigation for the particular crops, and what is the data already exists, already like if he wants to modify, what kind of change he can make, like that can be accessed using some SQL or some other thing. So in this data collection, the expertise needed is like knowledge of programming. Usually, either R programming or Python programming can be used in the data collection. And similarly, knowledge of statistics. See, in case of experiments, design experiments, to collect the data, some statistical analysis can be done, and knowledge of databases. This is required for the collection of data. This is the first step in any data science relevant problem. And then the collected data should be stored. Dattansha Sangaranam, storing data. This operational data is a vital part of any organization. So based upon the day-to-day operations, whether the transactional data acquired is representing the business process accurately or not, that has to be analyzed, and including some transactions or sales records, etc. Financial means bank records, sales records, some retail operations means sales records, or if it is healthcare, that health records analysis, all the data acquired has to be stored in proper repository. See, the data will be different types. One is operational data, and next unstructured data, and the other thing is structured data. Unstructured data will be in the form of text or speech or video. Data coming from web media or social media posts or online videos, etc. Structured data, it is like highly organized and easily searchable. It will be from multiple databases combining into common repository. So for storing data, the expertise needed, like skills needed, that may be programming skills, understanding databases, understanding of NoSQL databases, JSON, XML, and understanding of data warehouses. These are all the skills required for a data scientist if he wants to work on storing data. And for processing the data, that is Dattansha Sangaranam, data wrangling, extract, transform the structure, load the data into the necessary devices, and data cleaning. While data cleaning, you will have some erroneous data that has to be removed, and some gaps also will be there. That gaps has to be filled. So fill the missing values, correct any errors are there, then identify and remove the outliers existing. So this processing includes data scaling or averaging, like certain using some statistical analysis, proper mean or average or particular range has to be predicted. Accordingly, that some standardization procedure, minimum to maximum scaling, or predicting the average value, or predicting the mean value, like that, some standardization has to be taken place, and normalizing has to be done, and they are centered to certain mean, and that process, the data process has to be done. So, Mulyani Madhyastha Palitam Kendri Kantani Samshikam. So for processing data, basic statistics are essential, statistical analysis and basic programming skills are also essential, and database knowledge using SQL may be optional, that is. So describing data, this is somewhat same thing like summarizing or normalizing or scaling, representing data into graphs or plots or data charts, like that. So as I already mentioned, statistical analysis, Excel sheet analysis, or R programming or Python programming, and table A. These knowledge is required for describing or analyzing the data. So coming to the modeling, this is a major part. Modeling, statistical modeling or modeling underlying data distribution, the algorithmic modeling. Statistical modeling means based upon the relationship between two variables or between the multivariables, whether x is greater than y or y is less than x, or how the x is related to y. That relationship can be modeled statistically. There may be a linear relationship or non-linear relationship. You can plot the variables existing in your analysis. That is called statistical modeling. And next, modeling underlying data distribution. Some statistical guarantees, by giving statistical guarantees like p-values, goodness of fit test, like how suitable it is. Like we will mention the suitability for that. So that is based on data distribution. And next, algorithmic modeling, like machine learning algorithms, AI algorithms. We can do the machine learning modeling or AI modeling. So if you can only care about the prediction and not about why certain things are happening. So based upon the relationship existing between various variables, whatever the data we have acquired, whatever we have analyzed, the most suitable model we will choose or we will build accordingly, and then we will work on work for further future predictions. So comparing this statistical modeling and algorithmic modeling, statistical modeling is simplex, whereas algorithmic modeling is little complex. And for low dimensional data, statistical modeling is suitable, where for algorithmic modeling, high dimensional data is needed. A linear regression, logistic regression, linear discriminant analysis, all these like using trees, KNNs, SVMs, multi-layered neural networks. Using these networks, the machine learning modeling can be done. The modeling skills required: inferential statistics, probability theory, machine learning, and Python packages. There are different Python packages and frameworks like NumPy, scikit-learn, TensorFlow, PyTorch, Keras, Pandas. Anything using these, any one of these, the modeling can be done. So now moving on to the main thing, data science relevance to electrical engineering. So as I have mentioned, the load forecasting is the best example. And apart from that, energy management, predictive maintenance, smart grid operation, renewable energy, integration, among other areas, the data science relevance is prominent. So predictive maintenance. Predictive maintenance means, see, in the power system, there is a possibility for breakdown or failures or faults taking place. So for that, so predictive maintenance means like how frequently a power system failures are taking place. How frequently, or in what area the failure or breakdown is taking place. That analysis can help us, in future prediction of faults and in analysis of that faults and clearing that faults. So that is called predictive maintenance. So scheduling repairs before breakdown occurs and minimizing the downtime. Minimizing the downtime means fault clearing time can be reduced and severity, whatever the consequences after the fault can be reduced. So that is based upon the data available or previous data available, and based upon the, like, whenever the load changes or whenever sudden load switched into the power system, then what sort of changes that will take place, that we can analyze, and possibility of faults or possibility of breakdowns can be taken into place, and accordingly we can minimize the frequency of faults. Minimize the frequency of faults and severity of faults. Similarly, this can be applicable in electric vehicles also. Electric vehicles, like for motor performance or for battery health, battery management system. See, there different kinds of sensors are available in the battery management system. So, based upon that sensor data, that sensor data should be continuously monitored, and whatever the data available, so that data will give you how healthy the battery is, or how when it is going to be deteriorated or it is going to be corrupted or something like that. We can predict and we can choose for the maintenance activity. Next. If at all replacement is needed, that also can be taken care. And energy management. See, data science can analyze the energy consumption patterns. See how during daytime, what is the energy consumption, during peak hours or off peak hours, what is the energy consumption, and based upon that energy consumption pattern, identify inefficiencies and we can optimize the energy usage accordingly. So whether it is buildings or industrial area, and even for individual devices, we can analyze the energy consumption during various hours during the day and during the year. Then we can analyze the future predictions. That can be done, and that can be managed also in an effective way. And similarly, smart grid operation. Smart grid is data science plays a crucial role in managing and optimizing the increasingly complex smart grid. So we can use machine learning techniques. In analyzing the smart grid data to predict energy demand and to balance the load demand, and then to ensure the grid stability. What is a grid share or a smart grid data, to analyze smart grid data, and smart metering devices also. Various sensors data will be available during various hours. That data can be analyzed, and the effective operation of smart grid can be done to ensure the grid stability. And next, renewable energy integration. So as I already mentioned, based upon the load scheduling and unique commitment of various energy sources, we can optimize the integration of renewable energy sources into the grid. Renewable energy sources like solar or wind or tidal, etc. And this is based upon the prediction. This is based upon the prediction of the output. Based upon the existing load data, we will calculate the future data, and accordingly we can incorporate or we can take the renewable energy sources into account to meet the necessary demand. As already mentioned, like smart metering, analyzing the data from smart meters to identify patterns, and so that we can improve the energy efficiency. And load forecasting, pricing optimization, circuit design. Using data science, we can optimize the circuit performance and efficiency. And data science techniques can be used to process signals in various electrical systems. So this is various applications, or in each segment there is a scope for taking a research problem and working upon that. You can build the model, whatever you require. You can change the model, or you can incorporate different sensors to predict the data. And suppose IoT boards or sensors in every way. Like whatever the applications I have mentioned, there is a scope for working forward. And slides for you. Actually, for students, I have incorporated last week. See, if you want to choose your career into the data science field, what I have mentioned few skill set already. If you are into the modeling, what exactly statistical analysis you should gain, you should learn, or R programming or Python programming. Excellent. Yes, this is a basic data science field. See, you can observe machine learning, mathematics, statistics, computer science, communication, and domain expertise. All these people will be there in a data science field. So professionals from various disciplines other than computer science, students studying computer science, students studying disciplines other than computer science, all these people together can work for a particular project. Next slide. Yeah. This is skill sets and various people, data business people. They will be with any engineering degree, but with the MBA. So those are data business people, and data developers mainly those who are expertise in writing code, software code, maybe using R programming or Python. If you are experts in Python, can work on those jobs also. That's why, and data researchers, those who are pursuing their research or research scholars, or they can apply the scientific training and the tools, techniques which they have learned already, and they can create applications of mathematical tools for various insights. So these are various various positions: machine learning, statistician, software programming analyst, data engineer, actuarial scientist, business analytic practitioner, quality analyst, spatial data scientist, mathematician, digital analytic consultant. Like this, so you're based upon your choice, you can work in that particular area and you can progress. So with that, I want to conclude. I would like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you, Anita, for engaging on data science applications in electrical engineering and basic data science operations and database technologies. Now I request my HOD ma'am, Sri Lakshmi ma'am, and Professor Swarupa ma'am to felicitate today's speaker, Dr. Navina Bhargavi ma'am, as a token of gratitude. And I also request our Professor Lokeshwari sir to join this felicitation. I request other lady faculty also to join.
participants and students just wait for a 2 minutes. We'll have a group photo and then you can leave. Okay, thank you. I request all the participants and students to come forward for a group photo. And will be concluded for today's session. Tomorrow morning will be history. Tomorrow morning, there's a day 2 section, we have total 3 sessions. Out of 2 sessions, will be covered by one industry person who is coming from ASA. We can actually, I hope you will be getting a lot of comments from him. And one more session by our department faculty, finance master. He's going to deliver the picture on funding projects and everything. We always share the picture in our partner. We request all the participants and students to be gathered here by 9:30 sharp for tomorrow's session. Okay? Participants, please join for కొంచెం ప్యానల్ కూడా చూడండి స్లైడ్ ఆన్ చేయండి మార్నింగ్ తీసారు తీసారు విజయం
The process which has utilized as a.
ఓకే అక్కడ ఆపేసి ఇక్కడ ఎదురు ఆపేసిన తీసుకెళ్తారు కదా తీసుకెళ్తారా